Thank you so much for joining me today at Everyday Yoga. My name is Christine. Today we will be practicing a gentle chair yoga practice. We will be loosening up the neck and the shoulders, and most importantly, because so many of us do sit all day, opening up those hip flexors from a safe and comfortable seat. So please find yourself a safe, comfortable seat, one that is nice and sturdy and not going to roll around at all under you, and I will join you there. Now that you have found yourself in a nice, comfortable, and safe and sturdy chair, let's just take a moment to kind of get a little bit loose here. We spend so much time sitting and concentrating all day, many of us in our jobs particularly, that maybe we just need to get a little movement in. So let's just start by rubbing the legs up, or rubbing the legs, running the hands up and down the thighs. Maybe even bending over and rubbing the outside of the calves a little bit, maybe even down to the ankles if that feels good. Nothing fancy here, just maybe massaging the knees a little bit, rubbing the outside of the thighs, maybe using the knuckles here, just being really intuitive to any kind of places that you might feel a little tense, a little sore, a little stuck, and just bringing a little blood flow to those areas. I like to really get into the hips here because I personally do a lot of sitting all day. You could maybe even reach across to the ribs, rub in between the ribs, getting those little intercostals, the connective tissue where we can kind of hunch over and get stuck. Just kind of open that up and then switch sides, getting into the other side. Just showing yourself a little kindness, a little self-massage. Just giving yourself and your body the attention it needs. Paying attention to the body here. Noticing what you feel. Noticing where you feel it. And maybe asking yourself what you need. Now I'm just rubbing my arms. Maybe rub your palms together. Maybe get up in here in the shoulders, giving a little bit of massage. So now I'm just rubbing my arms up and down, getting a little more circulation in there. Maybe rub the palms together, open and close. The fingers, making fists and then spreading the fingers wide. Perhaps getting into the shoulders here a little bit and squeezing them as we massage them. Maybe massaging all the way down the arms. You might have some areas here in the forearms. If you're at a keyboard a lot during the day, the underside as well as the top side. And you can do this at any point throughout your day. When you notice you might be feeling a little uncomfortable, just take a minute to rub it out. Okay, now that we've done that, let's just take a few cleansing breaths here. Just inhaling through the nose and exhaling out the mouth with a sigh. One more time. Big inhale followed by a big exhale. Just let it go. Last time here. And let it go. You might notice I have a fly in the room, so maybe Princess will find it and take care of it for me. Maybe not, but if it's distracting, that's what it is. And now we'll just focus on finding a nice tall spine. Pressing your feet evenly onto the floor in front of you. Kind of keeping your feet in line with your knees, in line with your hips as best as feels comfortable in your body. If it feels more comfortable to come in a little bit closer, feel free to do that. If you feel more sturdy with a bigger, wider stance, you can do that too. But as close to in line with the hips and knees as possible. And just press your feet evenly onto the floor. And as you press your feet onto the floor, press your hands onto the tops of your thighs and kind of draw yourself up to your full height, taking the crown of the head right here at the top as high as it will go. And then take those shoulders up by the ears and then loop them back and down. You might notice a little noise back there in the neck. And then release the hands and just kind of settle into this nice tall spine. It is what it is, I suppose. And so now we're going to just take a few moments to do some neck rolls. Inhaling here and then exhaling to bring the chin down to the chest. Inhale, taking the right ear towards the right shoulder. Exhale, chin to chest. Inhale, the left ear over to the left shoulder. Exhale, chin to chest. And inhale, the head back to the top of the spine. And then we'll stay here for a full breath. And the next time you exhale, go ahead and just take the right ear towards the right shoulder. And then turn the head so that you're gazing down to the earth as you inhale. Stay for the exhale. Roll the head back up so the ear is right over the shoulder. Inhale and exhale here. And then inhale back to the top of the spine. Exhale over to the left shoulder. Inhale to gaze down at the floor. Stay for the exhale. Inhale to roll the ear right over the shoulder. Stay for the exhale. And then inhale back to the top of the spine. Then we'll get a little bit of movement in the hips here. So we're just going to scooch out to the front of the chair as far forward as you can go and still remain safe and secure. And just take your hands either to the seat of the chair or the arms of the chair if your chair has arms and that feels more comfortable to you. And we're just going to kind of take the knees out as wide as feels comfortable. And we're just going to tick-tock the knees from side to side. Moving back and forth, kind of like windshield wipers. I live in Oregon, so maybe just a drizzly day. It's not really raining hard, so the windshield wipers are just going nice and slow. And maybe you can add a little neck movement in here as well. So as you take the knees over to the right, you can gaze over the left shoulder. As you take the knees to the left, you can gaze over the right shoulder. And then you can link the movement with the breath, inhaling center, exhaling to twist, inhaling center, exhaling to twist. And we'll just do that 2 more times. Tick-tocking the knees, maybe closing the eyes and really notice what you feel as the feet kind of roll from side to side. And when you've evened it all out, we'll come back to center. And then we're going to really tick-tock all the way over to the left and rotate the hips so that you're on the chair and the knee is just to the outside edge of the front left corner of the chair. So it's not right over the corner, but just beyond that. And then we're going to drop this right knee down towards the floor and curl those right toes under and get a nice stretch right here in the front of the hip flexor. These can get really, really tight when we find ourselves sitting a lot. So opening these up can really help to find some relief. Not to mention the fact that when we are in our nervous response, our fight or flight response, when we're stressed out, we tend to kind of draw everything inward. And when we can open up a little bit, we tell the body that's okay to be open, and we can maybe begin to relax and refresh and restore a little bit. So just breathing here, maybe taking the heel a little farther back if you'd like more of a stretch in the front of that hip, and holding on to the chair somewhere, either on the back of the chair, the seat, or the arm of the chair, so that you've got yourself firmly anchored to the seat. And if you'd like to add a little bit more, you can inhale that right arm up to the sky. And as you exhale, you can draw the right fingertips towards the back of the chair. And really notice how that changes the sensation here in the hip. You can keep those toes curled under, or if that doesn't feel good to you, you can turn the top of the foot down towards the earth. And even get more of a stretch in the front of the shin. Curling the toes under will give you more of a stretch in the back of the calf. So play around with that a little bit. Find whatever feels good to you. You might want to open the heart up towards the sky here and take your gaze up towards the inside of your elbow, and notice how that changes the feeling in the hip. You might want to roll the heart towards the earth, stretching out along the ribs, taking the fingertips to point to the back corner of the room. And again, notice how that changes the sensation in the right side body. One more big breath wherever you are. And then we'll inhale the fingertips back to the sky if you have them extended. And then exhale to draw everything back in towards the center. And then we got to even things out, so let's switch to the other side. We'll take that right thigh, right knee just beyond the corner of the right front corner of the chair. And holding on to the chair so that you're nice and secure and anchored, we'll take that left knee towards the floor. You can begin by curling the toes under and pressing back to get that nice calf stretch. Adjust yourself so that you feel the stretch and the sensation in the hip while also remaining safe and steady on your chair. You can turn the toes under. You can send the foot back a little farther. And then if you want more of a stretch, you can inhale those left fingertips up towards the sky and exhale to draw them behind towards the back of the chair. As you inhale here, focus on those left ribs. Maybe even visualizing the left lung as you inhale, and visualize what that might look like inside the cavity of your body as you expand the lung and let it contract inward. Maybe rotate the heart towards the sky. Maybe rotate the heart towards the earth. Noticing what you feel, where you feel it, and then asking yourself what might feel good in your body. And when you've had enough here, we'll inhale back to vertical arm and exhale to release and come back to center. So we've gotten a little bit of a side to side, we've gotten a little bit of a hip flexor stretch here. Let's get in a nice gentle twist as well. Let's bring the hands to the heart here. Inhale to find length as you tuck the chin, and as you exhale, just slowly begin to twist towards the right. Inhale again to find length in the spine. Exhale and either soften into that twist or maybe twist a little bit more. Keep going until you find your edge where you're feeling a maximum amount of stretch with no pain. And if you would like a little bit more, you can take that left palm to the outside of the right knee, and bring the right hand somewhere on the chair that makes sense to you so that you can really deepen into that stretch and turn the gaze over the right shoulder. Finding length as you inhale, finding depth or softness as you exhale. One more full breath here. And the next time you exhale, go ahead and come back to center. Let's bring the palms back to the heart. Reestablish that nice long spine as you inhale. And then we'll begin the journey on the left. Exhaling towards the left. Inhaling to lengthen. Exhaling to deepen or soften. Finding your edge. And if you haven't quite met it yet, you can bring that palm to the knee, bring the left hand to the chair, the seat, the back, the arm, whatever makes sense here for your body and your chair, until you find that edge where you're getting a nice deep stretch without any pain. And you kind of want to get close to that line sometimes. I know there are some yoga classes that I take that when the instructor first says to do something, I'm like, no, I'm not going to ever be able to do that. But if they do it in a different way where I can gradually get into the pose, I can sometimes surprise myself. Sometimes I can't do it. My first instinct is right. But sometimes you may surprise yourself. Your edge might be a little farther beyond what you think. One more inhale here. Exhale to come back to center. And then we'll just loop the shoulders up and back and down a few times. And then we'll make some little circles with the nose in one direction and then the other. And then we'll do a little bit of forward and back flexion in the neck before we wrap up. So instead of doing a typical cat-cow where we open up and draw the heart forward and then round into a cat, we're going to keep the hands on the thighs here. And as we inhale, let's really take the head back as high as we can while keeping that chin tucked. And as we exhale, let the hands slide forward over the knees and really focus on that area in the thoracic spine in between the shoulder blades. Inhale to draw the hands up the thighs, looking up with the chin tucked to keep the neck nice and safe. Exhale, letting the hands slide down towards the knees and really stretching through the back, drawing that chin towards the chest. Inhale to lift and open the heart, really getting as much of a back bend here as feels good to you. Exhale, last time here, really stretching back into the back between those shoulder blades. Inhale to open up one last time, tucking the chin, lifting the heart, drawing the elbows back, and then exhale to come back to a neutral spine. And let's just take a moment to find a few nice deep breaths. Reestablish your normal breath first, your usual breath. And then as you inhale, let's count to 6. So we'll inhale for 6 and exhale for 7. Let's breathe together. Inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale for 7, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Inhale for 6, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale for 7, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 2 more breaths like that, counting in your head. Closing the eyes if that feels comfortable to you, or taking a soft gaze. If the length of the inhale and exhale seems too long, feel free to shorten it. And if it makes you anxious, just come back to your normal breath. And once you've found those 2 full inhales and exhales, let's everybody come back to our normal breath. And just notice how you feel. And then go ahead and take your right hand to your left shoulder, your left hand to your right shoulder, and let your head dip down so that the chin is between the crook of your elbows. Just give yourself a gentle hug. And then let's bring the hands together in Anjali Mudra, prayer position here. And no matter what religion or beliefs you might have, I think we can all agree that if we could all be happy and free everywhere, that the world would be a better place. So that's my prayer for us all today, that all beings everywhere be happy and free. Namaste.